One. Welcome to TruthStream. We are here for the third incarnation of the Three Paisans. Welcome to the show, Michael DellaRocca. It's a pleasure to have you once again. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be with you guys as always. Again, it's like being with long lost family, and it's definitely raises the vibration being with you guys. So it's good to see you.
Gosh, thanks.
Likewise.
Agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I wanna have Scott maybe kick this off and take this in a fun direction. So, Mr. Stone.
Fun. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how fun it'll be, but
I think it'll be.
I'm just curious. I'm getting the feedback I'm getting from a lot of folks is a lot of ups and downs and a lot of uncertainty about where we're at and where we're going. I think we've all had some expectations, and that things are gonna progress to a newer, better expression of humanity, so to speak. And for some reason they seem rather discouraged right now. I don't know if that's just a cyclical thing or what, but yeah, can you tell us what you've heard from your audience, or what you've heard from your friends?
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people are down, and thinking with the old 3D mind, I would be down as well. But this is all about leadership, and we have to really understand the concept of free will. And we can't wait around for a savior. So some people might think there'll be one savior, and you know what, we've spent so many years in the old matrix life, worshiping false idols. And what we're all being taught is that we cannot worship one person or a group of people, but it's actually we the people that are actually supposed to lead. So this is actually a shift to authentic leadership, and it's all of us that takes a piece of that leadership according to their specific unique abilities. So I share this a lot on my channel. I can do things that you can't do, and you can do things that I can't do. And that's how we're going to shift to this new earth. So we have to on the other side of fear, that's where the new earth is. And a lot of people have this fear, and we can't rely on someone coming back, getting elected, a new leader. It's got to be we the people that are the actual leaders. So yeah, a lot of people feel down, a lot of people are tired, a lot of people have it's like a fatigue of nothing happening. It feels like a fatigue of being in a holding pattern. We all kind of, even myself, I feel like a holding pattern. Over the long haul, I feel that a diamond is created under great pressure. So we're all under this great pressure. It gets us to come out of our comfort zone. Over the past couple of years, I've come way out of my comfort zone. I probably wouldn't have done it if it was just handed to us. So I feel like it's done by God, by design, where it is being dragged out until the everyday life people actually take the bull by the horns and do it themselves.
That's a perfect answer. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we have you. That's why this is kind of a, just so people know, this is a co-hosted show. I reached out to Michael, it's been a few months ago, because of his energy. He's really positive, and he's on the East Coast. He's Italian. Italians were part of the formation of this country. My grandfather, who I'm named after, came here when he was 12 and worked on the railroads and worked his way up, and he was oversaw 60 men. And so when things get tough, I think of the 12-year-old kids that came over here to forge a new world for themselves and their families and their future. So we as men need to rise up as well. And I know, Scott and I have kind of, we only started this in the summer. We were in the background a little bit, learning, researching. And, also it can be a little scary to put yourself out there when people think what they think of certain things. But, you get to a point where you have to stand up, you have to say something. And through that and moving away from the 3D and into the 5D, you meet like-minded people. And you know, I feel that we're friends for life now. And just, you know, look at that smiley lights at the whole, you know,
Yes.
and maybe our your grandparents or who knows, they may have known. There's some way we're connected again, and we may have known you from previous incarnations, you know, to get woo woo a little bit, but I don't know. I just there's something that we resonated with your energy, so that's a big reason why we're here doing this together.
Yeah, it's you know, I coined the phrase vibrational synchronization. We're all syncing up, and it's very magnetic. But you brought up a good point, and it's so I also feel like as we're serving, there's something in the ether, in the air. So you just said a similar thing. I just did a full video, and there's an old school phrase. There's the man in the stands, and there's the man in the arena. I updated it to the warrior in the arena, so it's all inclusive. But it's an old school phrase. And what we need is the man in the arena right now. We don't need the man in the stands. That's what they want. They want to give you bread and circus. You know, wait for this person to get elected, so on and so forth. Just sit there. Just sit there, and you know what? If you just wait a little bit long, I just wait a little bit longer. But you know, and now you know, in back in August, and I shared about the Lionsgate portal, and I shared about the energy of the lion and the courage and the bravery, and how that goes into our DNA, and it sits dormant in our DNA, and now it's actually being activated. And we need warriors right now. So we don't need the man in the stands eating nachos and watching. We actually came here to participate in the event. That's what we came here to do. Not everyone, but you have this, like, I came here to participate in the event. So as much as, you know what, like a lot of people, like maybe you want to, you know, sell everything, take your money and just move off and just live off the grid. We actually didn't come here. Like, I would go insane. Like, you guys know me. I have to have a video up every single day because I'm the man in the arena and you're the men in the arena, and we have warriors in the arena and women in the arena. And that's what it's all about right now. We actually have to do it ourselves. And this is the underlying energy theme. We can't rely on false idols anymore. It has to be us, the people. And a lot of the people, and again, there's good and bad people. We can't say all famous people are bad, but most people got to the top because they kind of did stuff that wasn't so great. So in a sense, when biblically they said the meek shall inherit the earth, it didn't mean that weak people. It's about like the common everyday life people are inheriting the earth. And that's where we're headed towards right now. It's a crazy world, but things are being stirred up. And it's funny that you said in our ancestry, I always shared that my grandfather served in World War II, and we serve in World War III.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that's yeah. It's a information war that we're in right now, and that's why it's great to team up, you know, with you. And I know that you were part of the event, the Truth Tour, and you helped bring that event to the East Brooklyn specifically. And it's cool that you were able to, you know, make that happen. And now here we are hooking up with you across the country. And so I don't know, I just there's something here, and it's going to be great to see how this conversation unfolds for the next, you know, half hour or whatever. So someone wants to jump in here, I think, with some comments, please.
Ready to go.
Well, no, I thought of my own grandfather, also World War III, World War II,
Right.
not three, we're in three. And
Well,
Joe mentioned his grandfather. What he didn't mention is my grandfather and his grandfather. We found out much later, which was odd. We'd been friends for a long time when we found this out, but that they grew up within 40 kilometers of one another and came over at the same time, probably on the same boat. So, small world. But yeah, when I think about this country and what's at stake, I think about my relatives that were in the Revolutionary War. And gosh, if they could stand up with those odds in conditions like that, that was a crazier time, arguably, than this time. They're both pretty crazy, but if they had the courage to do it, certainly we have the courage to do it.
Yeah.
So.
You made a great video today, and we don't have to go into all of the topics, but he brought up some words that are triggers, I think. But maybe if you can, without getting this video into that same category, because it's a test. Tell people about why you made that video, and I just shared it on our Telegram. But please go ahead, give us a little insight.
Well, why I made the video, sometimes God just gives me a little nudge to do something. So it's just an idea of mine. And you know what, like I just presented a bunch of topics with no context. And it's actually a science experiment. It's to see if there really is censorship or not. That is you know, artificial consciousness. I actually did a video. It's not artificial intelligence. It's artificial consciousness. They programmed your subconscious mind to think that it's intelligent so that you would be fearful of it, but it's actually just what it is artificial consciousness. So anyway, I said it with no context just because it doesn't mean anything. So if they were to take it down, we have to fight it with everything we have, because I just read words. It's just words. So I'm here to make people question everything. I'm here to take the slings and arrows, and I'm here to be the lighthouse to show people, you know what, maybe the boogeyman ain't really there. And I'm actually, some people will think it's a spiritual wackadoo, but I'm actually recreating the timeline with every decision that I make. And each and every one of us with a soul is actually recreating the timeline with every decision that we make. And what we're supposed to do is transmute things. Some people might say, oh, what do you got to be on this platform for? But you could see the platforms that are going to make it through. We don't want to throw these platforms away. We actually just want to transmute the platform. And that's I'm not going anywhere. This is what I'm here to do. But just because, when you have that full armor of God, when your vibration is more powerful than the matrix vibration, you're actually changing the surrounding area. I'm in a very dense area here in New York, and I was positioned here for a reason. But and even someone told me a few years back, every decision you make, you're actually changing the timeline. And I felt a responsibility to actually do that video just to show people. And you know what? I shared this on one of my live streams. We have to live in authenticity. Back in on October 1st of 2021, I was illegally and unlawfully fired from the New York City Department of Education because it went against my God-given right of sovereignty. They wanted me to put some kind of experiment inside of me, inject some, stuff I don't know what this is my body and my temple. I had a lot of problems too. I had a lot of problems with rules for children saying, oh, these children, they have to put a face diaper on and have, hypoxia for 7 hours and have rules, and this student will get in trouble. And this is my, you have to be a teacher and why is this student doing this or that? I have a real problem with that. So when we realize that the new earth is on the other side of fear, my life is so much better when I'm outside of that. I had to take a leap of faith. I was very scared. I'm starting over from scratch. I had everything all figured out, but I'm doing all of these things as a lighthouse to show people, like, holy shit, you could do this. You could, oh, wait, there's nothing to be, there's no boogeyman out there. And once you've achieved a certain level of vibrational frequency, none of these things can touch you because they're down here. They can't get up and get you. They can't get you guys.
I like that. Now, you said holy shift, right?
Holy shift. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
It's stunning that this is just an extension of the last conversation that we had.
Yeah.
That, it's like you were there. You're tuned in completely to what we just had a rather long conversation about. So
there's something in the ether. We're all on the same. We're all serving in this consciousness war. Even Marshall McLuhan said that. This is going back years ago. He said World War III will be an informational consciousness war, and we're here now. And so there is something in the ether, like what you said before. That's why I brought it up. This week I did a full video of the man in the stands and the man in the arena, and that's what we need, right? And you're picking up on that same vibrational frequency. So Tesla said, I am the receiver. So there is something in this ether that we're picking up on. And this is real life. Like as we're doing this right now, there's no teleprompter here, anyone that's watching. We don't have to sit here and be robot. This is happening live. So this is real scientific evidence that there is something that we're all picking up on.
Yeah.
The receiver and the observer. There's a lot of power in that as well. If you look at Max Planck's work or, you know, any of that, it's you determine your reality in that way in a pretty literal way, really.
So that's, you know, I don't have fear. I'm sorry. No, I just want to say I don't have fear. You have to not, you know, be in that vibration of fear. And, you know, I'm not, you know, I know it's hard for people to, even for myself, but you have to do it a few times. And that's why you become braver and braver. The courage goes up. The lion starts roaring. That's why I was able to do that, because I'm testing these things. I do a little bit, you know, you dip your toe in the water. Okay, it's a little cold, you know, you go in a little bit more. So that's why, you know, you have to, you know, really challenge yourself. We're all challenging ourselves, and just don't be in fear and move forward. And when you have to have the inexhaustible belief in it, because if you have a little bit of a doubt, that's where it starts, you know, creeping in. And that's why, you know, that's why you have to really embrace right now, at least for a while, being alone. Because, you know, when I did this, and then like some people, you know, going back to work. Oh, why do you got to leave for? You know, oh, what, you're going to lose your health insurance. You're going to lose everything, you know. It's in the fear, you know, the crowd is the matrix. They creep in there with the fear. Oh, what are you going to post that for? You know, they're going to flag it. You know, the crowd is the matrix, and the fear is the disease. The fear is the disease.
Yeah. I found it one of the most valuable tools that I've acquired in the last few years is just paying attention to my frequency, just tuning that frequency. When I get negativity rolling in, or you know, fear, anything like that rolling in, I'm presented with a choice. You know, am I good with this frequency, or do I want to just tune it up a little bit? And then you really have the power to just do that, and it's just a perspective thing. Well, is this also an opportunity? Is this also an excuse to go back to bed? You know, whatever. Because I like that too. You know, there's a way to bump your frequency up, and when you do that consistently enough, the whole world around you starts to get bumped up in the same kind of way.
I got to read something to you guys. I just posted this today. It says, read this slowly. The universe responds to your frequency. It doesn't recognize your personal desires, wants, or needs. It only understands the frequency in which you are vibrating at. For example, if you are vibrating in the frequency of fear, guilt, or shame, you are going to attract things of similar vibration. If you're vibrating in the frequency of love, joy, and abundance, you are going to attract things that support that frequency. It's kind of like tuning into a radio station. You have to be tuning into the music you want to listen to, just like you have to be tuned into the energy you want to manifest into your life. Change your mindset and it will change your life.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's really important. Anyone that's listening to this right now, number one, that's why it's not a one day thing. You have to do it literally every day. Like if anyone that's tuning into this right now and has never seen me before, that's why the name of my YouTube channel is Our Everyday Lives, because we have to do it every single day. And I want you to remember this. You know, I try to always present most authentic as possible. Things happen on a delay, and there is momentum. So just because you're positive one day doesn't mean, you know, you're going to get all the positivity. You have to focus. You have to do these things daily. You have to remember the Triforce, physical, mentally, and spiritually. You have to hold the frequency daily. And listen, we go up and down, but it's not enough. You can't just say, that's why I don't want people to say, oh, you know what, I'm down. I tried one day. I tried, you know, a couple of days. We have to do it every day. You know, we have to remember that things come on a delay, because we set like it's like an echo that comes back from the universe. Trust me, I've experienced. Be careful what you wish for, because, you know, in like a couple of months from now, you say, oh, well, that's what I wanted back then. I don't
Yeah.
now. But momentum is real too. So if you've been down for a while, it's not just one day of positivity. You know, I share a lot about mental health awareness on my channel. You're going to have to build that momentum. You know, and especially, you know, how you're saying, like when we combine together, like even my channel, the momentum, it keeps building and building. And the more I'm connecting with like-minded people, being with you guys, being with our brothers and sisters at the Truth Tour, I'm watching the channel just keep growing and growing and growing. And momentum is a real thing, and you got to keep that momentum going.
So true. So true. And live more deliberately probably than you might otherwise be comfortable with, because it's totally an option to live automatically. I mean, where you really don't have to, if you wait long enough, all your decisions are going to be made for you. You know, but if you live deliberately, and that right down to your frequency, I think probably being the most important space to understand, that's how you start to really see the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that's because we're in the present moment. So, like you said, that's subconscious, and we live 95% of the time in the subconscious. And there is a lot of fear, like, and it's kind of tiresome. And you're like this right now. You see, oh, you're looking at the news, you're looking at all this crazy stuff, nothing's happening. So it actually is making us become more deliberate with what we do.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I gotta ask. So, it's interesting to see a lot of these artists and musicians, in the mainstream narrative. But then there's those artists out there that are maybe not quite as popular. But one of my favorite bands that Scott actually introduced me to, there's a gentleman named Billy McCarty, from We Are Augustines, and I think he's from the Northeast. I don't know if it's New York or Boston. I'd have to look, but he's actually on a tour right now in Ireland, and he's talking a lot about mental well-being and mental awareness and things like that. And you just wonder if some of these guys that are out there that you can see the passion and the drive and the change he wants to make in the world, but he may not be aware. I'm not speaking for him, but of shows like this and energy like this, and you're on the East Coast. So if there's people out there, that see shows like this and that know artists out there that want to tap into this, send them shows like this, because we want to hear from those artists that may not be part of that whole system, that are out there fighting the good fight. I mean, he befriended the singer who unfortunately passed away from Frightened Rabbit, and he was there sharing notes and letters, and he played music with them, and I just watched it just about, I don't know, it was about a month ago, and it was heartbreaking to hear him tell that story. But the singer from Frightened Rabbit, he struggled a lot with his mental health. And so maybe if more people out there know that we're here for people like that, as woo-woo as some of this stuff sounds, that if they start maybe listening to some of these shows, listening to Michael's show, that there might be more hope. That's my whole point, is that they don't have to think of this conspiracy theory stuff as out there. Like, hey, we're here for humanity, we're here for people, we're here to educate, and that's why we're locking arms with people like you, because your energy's so high. And they're so anyway, I just wanted to let people know that there's we're here for the artist as well. So
yeah, it's really important, regardless of what a person is doing, or if a person is quote unquote more popular. Or you'd be surprised like who listens to who, and how you're influenced. And you know what I always say, God speaks through others. And there could be a random time I'm at the gym, and that's where I've gotten a lot of my, like, when you listen, you have to listen every day, listen, and you're just going to get the answer through people. And I would say nature is your best teacher. I say that, and we're the best. A lot of parents, you might be tuning in right now, they're pulling their children out of school right now. And I've shared this authentically. The greatest education that I had was from my family, my parents, my grandparents. They taught me the best lessons, and I was self-taught. And a lot of this stuff in school, it's programs.
Yeah.
It's programs.
Totally.
Yeah.
They don't teach you how to think.
Well, and so the audience knows, Scott was an educator as well in this. It wasn't as recently as you, but yeah, I mean, he's seen some of that, and I imagine what you've had to see more recently is just to watch the narrative change and what they're poisoning our children's minds with. Like some of was there a really obvious change in what they wanted you to teach children that you saw, that also, aside from the whole jab, that made you kind of pull back from that system as well?
Honestly, nothing terrible from my end of it. But what I would say is there was a plan ahead of time where they made it where they only needed a facilitator. So I used to teach I always share about the law of 80-20. And, in the textbooks, they'll give you 20%. And it's okay. I could have continued the life doing that. But 80% is hidden from us. So that's the only critique I would have of that, number one. Number two, they took the whole science curriculum and they made it computer-based. And it happened right before the lockdown. And it was like lesson 1.1. You just throw it on the thing. Everything was done. So they don't, like, when I would like create lesson plans and do all these things, they don't need people like me. All they need is a facilitator. Just plug and play now. Lesson 1.1, 1.2, 1.4. Do the quiz. Next one, 2. And it's all, and they have like 8 like things, and it's a whole program. And they only need, it was almost like they knew. It was like they knew that it was going to get, and it was very easy that 1 year that I had, it made the very easy. But it was almost like, I don't know, it was too coinkydink. It was too much of a coincidence.
You think an artificial consciousness, and by the way, I love that distinction. That's really important.
That was really, really well
but
said.
Maybe an artificial consciousness could do the job at this point. The way
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's already at work in everything else that they're exposed to.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What
it is?
Go ahead.
Everything is so like, if you want to say the rabbit hole is so deep, that's why it has to almost, have this like a God's reset, not that other reset, but it everything kind of we have to need a fresh start, because there's so much confusion right now. Even myself, so I share about clairsentience, and even Bruce Lipton said, all animals are able to pick up on vibration and frequency. And that's literally how you have to navigate. Anyone that's listening, I've never met these two men in my life, but they're like my brother. And if I hope I get to meet you guys in person one day.
Oh, you will.
On it.
You
Yeah.
will.
You have to feel the energy behind the words. And there's these sick false idols I see on the TV. I can't watch TV because I get so aggravated. Like every once in a while I put it on, and it's just like you hear these things, or it's and the more that you detox yourself, you cleanse your pineal gland, decalcify, pull out heavy metals, you start feeling and picking up on all these things, and all of a sudden, like you're picking up off of these vibrations, and you're blind, you're numb. Like some people say, oh, being sensitive is not good. It's actually good. It might feel bad. A lot of us are feeling ascension symptoms, but you have to be sensitive so you can know what's good, what's not good. So I'll just give a common thing I talk about. My palate has changed. There was food I used to be able to eat years ago. Now it will make me sick. I can't eat it. And it's like, oh, I wish but it's, my body is sensitive, and it's letting me know, don't eat this anymore because it's going to mess you up.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So to someone, alone and just not knowing where to reach out, they don't have a real support system, where, aside from, hey, hopefully listening to shows like ours, but where do you suggest that someone starts? Do they start with their diet? Do they start with, what's your advice to someone that's just like, where do I start with all of this to get in tune with themselves?
So I feel like, I always share our firsthand experience, and, someone like, going through the whole, spiritual health, I like to call it, is actually the most important, right? Mental health. And a lot of people know about mental health. Mental health drives physical health. But I actually feel like starting off with physical health, it's a tangible thing. I'll share a story in a minute as well. But it's a physical thing that people can relate to. some people can't relate to spirituality. They hear all these things a little bit too far out for them. But if they just focused on their diet and cleaning up the diet, it will totally change your mind. You start seeing clearer. You start understanding things better, and you start seeing the world with this one like never before. So I'll share a story. You know, years ago, I used to do bodybuilding shows. And when I first got ready for the competition, you had a diet for 3 months. So, you know, for like 12 to 14 weeks, because I did 2 shows in a row. So I ate so clean. That actually really drives, you know, jump started my spiritual awakening. Because then I just thought, I always had like something there, but like when I really started eating healthy, the world changed. So I would say start with your diet today. You know, don't listen. And there's the I call them the fake spiritual unicorn. Everything's a unicorn and rainbow. Don't worry about anything. But you know what? Like you have to go through this life with the vessel. So, and again, everyone's got free will. You want to sit and eat the nachos and cheese like the man in the stands, as we shared about before. You see how we went full circle. I really would suggest, you know, and doing whatever resonates with you, but you know, do the things. You know, start with pulling out the processed. You know, I'm sharing authentically. I am not a vegan. I eat meat, but definitely the processed meats, the processed foods. Pull out all sugars, the junk food. Start with that, and just slowly. You know, it should only be water. Pull out all sugars, all the sodas, even the diet sodas, and it's just a slow transition. And you know what? Whenever you go through a change, you know, 2 weeks, it becomes a lifestyle. 2 weeks becomes a lifestyle.
Well, and can you tell the viewers how, because part of your workout, the physical components, do you incorporate the pole that's behind you into part of like dancing or anything like?
So I have friends that like to bust my chops here. But what we see behind me, I live in an older building. It's a good building, but it's very old. And this is actually the heat. And actually, if I touch this, I'll burn myself. But it has to get hot so that the steam could go all the way up to. If anyone never saw this before, to me it's very common, and you know, especially working in the public school, like I don't know, I saw this all the time. It's like no big deal. So no one ever saw this. This is old school
So
radiators, you know.
Yeah.
Some of you might have like central air, all you fancy people, but this is old school the steam, you know.
Well, we thought it might be part of your OnlyFans channel.
Yeah, you know, I swing around you know, I can't get on the other side with the wall. No, it's important. It's very, everyone that's listening to this right now, you have to laugh right now.
Yeah,
It raises your vibrational frequency. You have to laugh, and I'm sure you two will agree with me. I will question anyone that has no sense of humor. You got to start. I think it's
absolutely
should. They're called psychopaths, but
yeah, it's
I want we mentioned diet and so on, and I think you know, we consume through our eyes as well, and TikTok's a really good example. It's so entertaining. You can get lost in it. I mean, it's 30 seconds of this and 30 seconds of that, and you know, whatever you might be into, and you're, you know, but it's mapping your brain and it's conditioning your brain, and I think quite intentionally. But you're not going to have an attention span anymore. It erodes your attention span, and it trains your brain, because your brain's giving you all these chemicals, right? You know, when you're laughing, you're getting those endorphins. When you're seeing something exciting, you're getting endorphins or arousing or whatever it might be. And you trigger those brain chemicals. Well, that's like taking a drug, and you get addicted to these drugs. It's just how it works. So our brains naturally seek novelty, and this is novelty 30 seconds at a time. And people will get lost for 2-3 hours, or they'll do it all day long. You know, I mean, Instagram's probably a different form of that. I know I'm guilty of, you know, flipping through the Instagram and whatnot.
and sending it to friends. But anyway,
of course.
Yeah, but I will say, you know, I stay the course with my channel. I've done a few shorter videos, but it's a different thing, and I don't veer away from it, and the channel grows all the time. And if you know, someone that's listening and you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I encourage you, you know, and I've shared this. I made a new friend, And he was like, I kind of don't understand it. And I said, just get, like I said before, the 2-week period for working out, say your body or your diet. The same thing with your mind. I encourage you, try my channel out for 2 weeks. And just, I do it 9 a.m. Eastern time. I start the day off right. And you know what? Just that's where we all have to be. We have to, start the day off and, not just let the day pass us by. I really, started that a long time ago. I have an alarm that goes off and every day, and it's like I got to get up and get started. And this way, by the time I do what I got to do, I'm working. I do a live stream. I go to the gym. I work out. I have a day. I feel accomplished by noon, and some people are just getting up at noon. And my channel is it's for self-empowerment, and that's where we all have to get to. I always had like these little simple things. Every day I wanted to learn something new. When I was consuming, some people are listening to us. You're seeing 3 people, but 2 channels, however you want to look at it. But you could be in a period of consuming and then creating. So right now I'm creating, but I went through a period of time where I was just consuming, no creating. Now I'm doing both. I'm also looking, I'm consuming, I'm always consuming, but it's really important to, like, I'm sharing about my journey. Like for years I was consuming, and I'm doing things, and I shared this: do something today that your future self will thank you for. I'll go, into the past and say, oh, thank you for doing that back, and things might not seem great at first, but it's the seeds that sprout later on and give us the fruit that we need.
Yeah, well, when you said consuming, it made me think of some thoughts I had about the word consumer and what a horrible word that is to identify with. I mean, we're so much more than certainly we consume things, but to be thought of as just a consumer is so hollow and empty. And then I thought about, to revisit the Instagram thing again, the word influencer. This whole idea, well, if you've got an influencer, and that's fine, but then you have the influenced. Well, that's a hell of an insult to the audience, I think, to just be, influenced rather than.
Yeah, I get it. I will share this one thing though. It's like how we say the energy behind the word, or technology. A lot of people think technology. I'm just use that as an example, right? Technology. Say, oh, some people they think of. I like to call it AC now, not AI, but they say, oh, technology's bad. No. Technology is a tool.
Yeah.
It's the energy that's behind the technology. So we're using technology to do positive things. And then, I shared this back when I worked in the matrix schools. Like I would complain, because I'm seeing what the kids are, watching and, sharing in the office with other teachers, parents, and they have all these stupid videos. Like, kids should not be watching, idiots eating Tide Pods. I don't know if you remember that when I was teaching a few years back, like, and the kids think it's not funny. But these things get millions. Like this video should get millions of views, but those are the videos that get millions of views. They promote those things to dumb down society. They had that I didn't like that either, that Momo challenge that was getting children to hurt themselves. I didn't like that one either. This is all the stuff I saw as a teacher, and seeing, oh, what are they talking about? I'm like, what? And then I'm like, Tide Pods, all this stuff. So it's behind what's behind the technology, what's behind it. And so if a person is an influencer, I always share, we have to harness the power of the good shepherd.
That's definitely a positive spin on it for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm bored at a cocktail party, I'll often tell people I'm a shepherd. Professionally.
Professional.
I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. We'll get you the staff.
It's a more interesting conversation anyway.
Yeah.
They have a look when he says it.
Oh, it's great.
My next favorite, I came up with this one recently. I'm the guy that put pockets on yoga pants.
Yeah.
I always say, when the war's over, when this is all over, we all got to get together.
Oh,
That's
hell yeah.
that's
Oh,
all.
absolutely.
That's all I know.
Well, I know we want to keep this at we're within like 5 to 10 minutes of wrapping it up, but I just want to, you know, anything that you want to say, and then we'll talk about a couple things we're doing this weekend, but anything you want to say that keeps people positive, or where to find you, and et cetera, so that our viewers can hear more about you. So start with that.
Well, and the last two times, and I always like to share this as well. I like to go with the energy theme of the time period. Just asking the two of you, have you noticed, like in the last few weeks, that you might be sleeping a little bit extra, a
Yeah.
little extra? Oh, you see,
Oh
this
yeah.
is not planned.
Yeah,
So,
today,
and I actually
actually.
wrote down something
Right.
too. So, I always share about the solar flash. I talk about the upgrades, and I wanted to really explain this too. So, on my journey in the last few weeks, I've been sleeping extra. I shared this on my channel, and in the middle of the day, I was taking naps, which is not natural for me. I will go through periods of time where I feel like I have to take a nap, and in the past few weeks, I was feeling that, and feeling like when I told you I set the alarm every day, no matter what, I'm getting up. Usually I like to say I beat the alarm, or the alarm goes off, I get up. I was like, oh, I can't get up. My body felt like it needed to rest more. And there's something that we should really understand. I talk about the solar flash. We know about plasma, the sun. So every living system is looking for more energy than it can use to reorganize all of its frequencies to a higher functional state. So when I'm sharing about feeling more tired, and on my channel, I say it's our evolutionary journey. You're evolving right now while you're alive. You don't have to wait, thousands of years for the next evolution. You're actually evolving right now, and it's a natural cause. But we've been numb to this with the poisons, with the dehydration, with the heavy metals, with the fluoride, all this other stuff. And that's why it's important to be conscious of all this. That's why it's a spiritual war. That's why we have to take ownership. We're learning things, and no one's going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. So that's really the underlying theme that we're feeling right now. And you know what? If anyone that's new to this, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Our Everyday Lives, and I do a daily video, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I do 2 videos on Friday. We do a bunch of different things, and I started doing community polls. They've been working out very good. As I always say, it's important to have community polls because every vote counts, unless at least they say it does. But
Good
I
point.
need to get a bad. My thing got messed up. But no, it's true though. But it's really important that we're all doing it. Like you said, it's better. Like these videos are better just doing it with you. It's better. People want to see, oh, they're seeing now, oh, now 3 people. It's not just one person
Right.
talking. So it gives it more validation. It's important. I have a Patreon, and I have more content on there, and I hold Zoom meetings. And, this way, a lot of people are collaborating together on those Zoom meetings. So it's really important. And I'm very grateful for everyone that, would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the channel with others if it resonates with you, because that's the new earth. If it doesn't resonate, and I talk about many different topics, I'm sure you guys cover many different topics. The law of 80-20, if you're, experience, I don't like to use the word follow, we're a family, but if you're observing someone, if you're, taking in information from them, you should resonate with 80%, and you're not going to ever resonate with 100%. And that's why it's important to realize these the laws of the universe, the real laws, not the fake man-made laws. So but it's been great being with all of you, and I know you have a big thing coming up.
Yeah, and I'll tidy up with certain things at the very end and where to find it. But anything you want to say in closing?
Well, I mean, I think you can probably give everybody the update on
Yeah, well, I can give
we have
like
coming up.
Yeah, I just thought,
Yeah, kind of exciting live that we have going on Monday with SG Anon and Derek Johnson, 2 very interesting gentlemen that have never met, but they're about to on Monday night. Should be an exciting exciting show.
Yeah, and if anyone misses, so we're primarily on Rumble because, you know, we don't necessarily want to navigate some of the restrictions on YouTube, but where to find us is TruthStream with Joe and Scott, and that's on Rumble. We are on YouTube, but a lot of the videos will direct people over to Rumble. We're also on BitChute as well. And so, yeah, our interview is at 5 p.m. on Monday, November 21st with SG and Derek Johnson. That's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And if someone sees this and they're like, oh, darn it, I wish I would have looked at that. Well, it's live, but then that live recording stays up. So we're going to leave it up there on Rumble. Another thing I want to say is that, and we talked about this in the last, if you're looking at videos on Rumble on your app and you look at the description, you're going to be disappointed. And I talked to our friend Robert Imbriale about this, and we've done some shows with him. So if you need to be on the desktop version or the non-app, if you will, to see all of the links, like, you know, I'm going to leave links to you, but if people just look under in their Rumble, they're not on their app, they're not going to see all that. So that's why I'm telling people that, so they know that I do put a lot of effort into that. If you look on a laptop, you know, if they go back and look at all of our videos, we've had some great guests. Our channel wasn't very well known. We just broke about 6,000 not followers, but viewers, I guess, or people that are engaged in what we're doing. And the SG interview that we did last Monday, you know, people resonated with it. So that was really cool. So, and yeah, of course, you know, we usually don't say this, but of course we want you to like and subscribe. I mean, if someone sees the video, if they can just, you know, hit the Rumble, it helps us know that people are watching and that they care. If they subscribe, it helps get the word out. And this is it. Like, you know, we know that most people know this stuff, right? I mean, most people know to like and subscribe, but I don't know if they know the importance of it. A like is worth a point. A comment is worth 10 points, right? A share is worth 15. And what those points are, I've talked to someone that's really into the marketing of this. Those help other people in the world find these conversations. And that's really what it's about to us. That's the important part. Because if they don't do that, it doesn't help build the algorithm. And, you know, we're in a fight. We're in a fight for humanity. We're in a fight for our children and the future. And that's why it is so important to do those, because these should be, I would think, for people who are thinkers, getting more attention than some of the garbage we see on TV, some of these TikTok videos, and some of these $100 million budgeted films, right? I mean, it's hard for me to watch movies anymore. I'd rather be on the field and be engaged with someone like you. And the whole nacho thing, you know what's funny about that, Michael? I'm picturing a guy up in the stands and he's up there and there's chili and shit and cheese all over his pants. And it's not good cheese, it's processed.
It's that stuff in a can.
Yeah, and it's just, he's a mess. He's a mess, and he spills his beer on his lap. It's like, we don't need more of those people. We need people like, I'm just going to speak for myself, more people to surround ourselves with, like my friend Scott and my friend Michael, who I've never met yet. But you guys, having you guys as my friends, you guys have changed my life. And so that's what this is about. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you having you guys in my life.
Yeah, and I want you guys to know my life is better since I met the two of you. I really appreciate both of you, and you're really my family. I love both of you. So this was great as always. Thank you.
As always. All right,
That's
Michael.
great to hear.
Paisan. We'll see you soon. Take care, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right.